Hi there, how are you doing today? I'm here to talk to you about goal setting and really creating intention around the goals that you set. The more you really put work into this, the quicker you're going to get to your goals. And that's probably intuitive, right? But I don't think we all do it. My name's Dina Cataldo. I am a life design coach. So basically, my job is to help you get results quicker, to keep you on task, to keep you focused, and to help you figure out what it is you really want to do with your life, how you can make the biggest impact. I've broken down goal setting into 7 steps. So, step number 1, dream big. Why bother dreaming if you are not going to go for the freaking stars? This is your life. This is the only one you've got, and you are here to make the most of it. It might be scary, but you got to do it. You owe it to yourself, not to anybody else, just yourself. Be scary, impossible dreams, okay? Step number 2. The next thing you want to do is write it out. You got to write everything down. The more you write things down, the more it sticks in our brain. It has an influence on our subconscious that really no one can explain, but it does, and it works, and people accomplish their goals better, faster, and reach them in ways that are unimaginable if you just write them down. Visualize exactly how you think your day is going to be. How do you visualize your goal looking? So for instance, if your goal is to write the master novel, the greatest novel in the history of the world, you are going to have a feeling surrounding that, right? You're going to have an idea of what that looks like. A #1 New York Times bestseller by fill in your name. And you are surrounded by amazing people who helped you get there, amazing people who helped you promote it, that connected with you, people that you've connected with who talked about it word of mouth, who gave you ideas. There are all these things that are in your life. Think about them, write them down. Now, one way to think about this is to ask yourself, if you waved a magic wand, what would your life look like in a year? I like to work in year increments. It's easier for my brain to digest, but other people are great. 5 years, 10 years, dream it out, dream big. We'll get to breaking it down in a second. So step number 3, how does it feel to reach your goals? When you've reached that goal, that best-selling novel, are you energized? Are you grateful? How do you feel? Like, really feel it intensely in your body and write those feelings down. You're going to be revisiting what you wrote down, because that's how people reach their goals, is they continue to revisit what their goal is and they recalibrate based on what they're learning in their life. You don't have to stick with all of this forever. You can change this, but this is where you start. Okay, so step number 4, think about who you were being when you accomplished your goal. And this is all in the present tense. We are tricking our brains into believing this is already happening for us. Who are you in the moment when you have this best-selling novel on the New York Times bestsellers list? Are you committed, confident, grateful? How do you feel? Write it down and feel it all through your body. All right, so step number 1, dream big. Step number 2, write it down. Number 3, how does it feel believing you've already accomplished that goal? Step number 4, who were you being that created those results, that created that goal? The next step is be that now. Oh my God, that sounds really hard, right? Like, how are we supposed to be that right now? What you do now is making that happen. Right? So what do you have to do to become that best-selling novelist? You've got to do the work. You've got to sit down. You've got to write. You've got to make connections. You've got to figure out how the publishing business works. You have to find a mentor. These are things that you have to do. Be that now. Be the person who does that. Be the confident person who walks up to the mentor and says, hey, I loved that book. Can I ask you a couple questions? I mean, don't harass them, okay? People don't like that. Will you be my mentor? Don't go up to them and ask them, will you be my mentor? Because that's just annoying. But if you have a question, ask them. Most people are very kind and will be happy to answer your question. And if they're not kind, you don't want to talk to them anyway. All right, so step number 6, break this all down into bite-sized pieces. Okay, because thinking about a giant goal, like writing a book, can put our brain into overdrive. It puts us into procrastination. It puts us into all kinds of fear because our brain's trying to protect us. Well, it's easy to get shut down. So that's why we need to break this down into smaller, bite-sized pieces. And how do we do that? First, we go ahead and take that 1-year goal and chunk it down into what we can do quarterly to reach that goal. So let's say our book is, I'll make it really easy for myself, 8 chapters long. Well, if you have, I just made it hard for myself. Darn it. Did I do that right? Yes, I did. Okay, so let's say that the book is 8 chapters long. You write 2 chapters in 90 days, right? 90, 90, 90, and 90. That's 4 quarters in your year. You break it down 90-day increments. And the way you do that is you start making a schedule. You start figuring out, when do you have time? How can you get to these 2 chapters that you have to write by the end of these 90 days because you have committed to do that? And how can you commit to self-care also, so that you are taking care of yourself, because that's also related to who you're being when you've created this goal, right? If you feel energized, you want to make sure that you are doing the right things to make you feel energized. You're eating the right foods, you're exercising, you're meditating, whatever your self-care looks like. Okay, so now step number 7, engage. That's it, engage. The way I engage is I use the 90X goal planner. That's what I've been using. That's what I've been talking about. I've got a giveaway going on, and I'm going to post the link to enter in that in the show notes here. But it is the 90-day planner that is keeping me on task right now in 90-day increments. There are a lot of planners on the market, so I'm not here to diss any of the other ones because they're great, but this one's keeping me on task. The more engaged you are, the more committed you become. I really believe that. The more engaged you are, the more committed you become. How committed are you? So you have heard the 7 steps to setting and accomplishing your goals. Step number 1, dream big. Step number 2, write it down. Step number 3, how does it feel believing that you've already accomplished that goal? Step number 4, who were you being who created those results? Make sure you're writing that down too. Number 5, be that person now. Be the person you need to be to create the results you need. Step number 6, break it down into bite-sized pieces. And step number 7, get engaged. All right, if you have any questions, DM me, comment below, say hi, like this video. I would love to hear from you. All right, I will see you next week. Bye for now.